All right, let's look at step groups. So steps in a pipeline can be done serially, whether or not they are in a step group. Um, Parallel, whether or not they're in a step group. Normally they're done serially, but you can make them parallel simply by dragging them. See if I can do this guy. This guy might not work. Yeah, there we go. Now they're all parallel. But they can also be done that way in a step group. But the real purpose of a step group is to group steps so that you can control things like conditional execution and failure strategy. You can add one failure strategy that will apply to all the steps. In this case, I'm going to roll back the step group when any error happens. So, and then you can of course change the name and that sort of thing. Oh, and also with conditional execution, you can apply this. So always execute this step group or only execute it if the prior stage or step group failed and that sort of thing. So I'll just leave it at always. So now that applies to all of these steps. Now within each step, you can still override that, and I can change a different failure strategy here. I can add a different one here, or a different conditional execution if I want. That's fine. But if you don't, it applies to these settings apply to all of them. And so you can also apply rollback settings to all of them. So if I add a rollback step here, rollback, it applies to all of them. So now all of them will roll back using that step. And you can add more steps in a step group very easily. And so in this case, these will run in parallel and this will run next here. So this is serially. And this will apply to all of the rollback and all the conditions will apply to this step as well. It's a very simple way to control large sets of steps. And typically people will use them to run things in parallel. In this case, I'm simulating load by running a bunch of HTTP calls, but you can also use them for any other deployment method.